I miss the days of the video store. I don't know if you guys and girls do. I certainly do. I miss being able to go into a video store and just browse the shelves of all the hundreds and sometimes thousands of movies and then just pluck one off the shelf thinking, that looks interesting. We live in a world nowadays where everything's IP, everything's like a $200-300 million budget, everything's been advertised like crazy, and so we kind of know what we're going to get before we watch the film, which I think is a shame because over the years I've discovered so many gems. I remember going into a video store and plucking off the shelf Midnight Run starring Robert De Niro because I was familiar with Robert De Niro's name, but I'd never heard of Midnight Run. To this day, that film is in my top 10 movies of all time. So I kind of missed that whole video store, plucking films off a shelf, going home, and being happy if a film was just okay, if it was good, if it entertained me for the evening. I don't need every single film to change my life and every film to be a top 10 movie. I don't know how you feel about your movie watching habits, or whether in fact they've changed over the years when with streaming pretty much taken over everybody's life. I like streaming and there's elements I like to streaming, but there's elements I also don't really like to streaming, and it's that a lot of gems get lost in the algorithm. So one of the things I've been doing this year in 2025 is purposely just going down different rental routes, staying away from the streamers, jumping onto something like Amazon Prime Video and seeing what indie films are out there and actually paying like the £3 or whatever it costs to rent a film. And I've discovered some good gems. I discovered Not Alone, which I did a video for probably like a week or two ago, a few weeks ago. Haunted house movie, worth checking out. And then I've done the same this week with a film called The Nanny. Now, don't get that confused with the Bette Davis film, The Nanny, or any other films that have got Nanny. The Au Pair Nightmare, which doesn't have Nanny in it, but Au Pair, Nanny, similar type thing. But I checked out the Nanny, which is it's an indie thriller. It reminded me a lot of films that I used to rent in the video store back in the day. I don't so much mean the storyline reminded me, but just the feel of the film. So films like the Rebecca De Mornay starring Hand That Rocks the Cradle, the Bridget Fonda film Single White Female, the Alicia Silverstone starring film The Crush, which is a great film, and the Drew Barrymore starring film Poison Ivy. So these sort of films where you have characters colliding with another family. Somebody within that plot line is a little bit crazy, and stuff's gonna happen. The Nanny's kind of like that. Now, normally when you look at a film called The Nanny and you see the cover, Marriage is Their Problem, and you look at some still images, you think, oh, crazy nanny movie. And that's kind of cool. But what Brian Reynolds has done with the film that he's written and directed is it's not the nanny that's the crazy one, it's the family that this poor girl, played by Georgia Gould, has gotten into. And straight from the beginning of the film, this isn't too much of a spoiler because this is within the first 3 minutes of the film, we see Aino, who's the title character of the nanny. She arrives from Finland. She takes a job with this family. She gets dropped off in the middle of nowhere. A sheriff picks her up, drops her off at this deserted house. So straight away we're like, I know you need to be leaving and going getting another job. The family that this nanny ends up working for, a little bit War of the Roses, a little bit weird, a little bit strange, a little bit I wouldn't be working there. This family are kind of like the haunted house in Not Alone, where you go in and you go, hey, look, let me meet all you people. Yeah, I'm going to leave now because you lot are a little bit unhinged. It's beautifully shot. It has that wonderful independent look to it, which I know always sounds weird because it's like, what does an independent film look like? But you know what I mean. If you watch a lot of indie films, you see what they look like, and it's a nice, comfortable. There's no big visual effects sequences or anything like that, and I like that. This is a film about characters in a situation, kind of a creepy, weird situation, Very well acted by all the cast, very well shot, creepy atmospheric music score, great use of locations. And would I have seen The Nanny on a Netflix or an Apple, or I don't even know which streaming platform it is on? It might not be any of them. And this would be another gem that has got lost. So if you like films like Single White Female, Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Crush, and all these sort of psychological thrillers, that there was a whole bunch of them in the 90s, then I do highly recommend The Nanny. You can rent it or you can buy it from Amazon Prime Video. I'm not really going to put the graphic or the link on the screen because it would be a huge long link and that's kind of crazy, but I will put it in the show notes to this YouTube channel. So if you do want to cut and paste the link and head over to Amazon, then just made your life easier. But it's a nice little gem. It's not an IP, it's not a sequel, it's not a $200 million movie, but it looks great. It's well acted, it's well written, it's well directed. And if you like films where somebody's in a really creepy situation, and you personally would just run for the front door if you were in that situation, then I highly do recommend you check out The Nanny.